Hey guys, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with your Sensei Bob. Let me here at my favorite Italian restaurant having eggplant parmesan and the beer. I'm out and about. I've been pretty much up in the deep green, social distancing. I'm the, the poster boy. And when I do come out, I ask people how they're doing and what's up. And some folk are really distracted with just getting by day. Others are like stressed, you know. And I was listening to Clyde Lewis of Ground Zero, hosted in Deep Green. I have no TV, no internet, no phone, no nothing. I do have a radio, FM. We got Stupid College Station here in Johnson City, ETSU, which is an excellent station. Hey, Sandra B. And the FM band is a guy somewhere down the road who does Bible thumping on the radio. And I think he doesn't even have a license. I think he just does it out of his barn. I can constantly hear chickens and cows. And, well, he's interesting. He's totally, he really gets lit before he goes on air. He's not there all the time either. And then, after 9 p.m., I get AM skip. So that's one I listen to. Clyde Lewis. And that guy is interesting. And he's somewhere, but he's interesting. I'll just leave it at that. And so, he's kind of overweight and he's kind of got cancer and he's kind of got everything that, the people in the section who are, and one of the things he's got, can't really wear a mask because he gets that CO2 feedback and then his body kind of shuts down. Hey, Chris. He's always got something just that away from everything else. So that's why I listen to him. So he's really into, and he's, and this is a virus that's making people sick. But I used to work at the VA and I used to work in a hospital as a shrink, as a technician, fixing machines and other things I did there. They would let me oh my God. The Sloan Kettering kids used to let me in and do my back when I had a practice. They let me do my shamanic healing Reiki thing. I got a pretty good following, and I taught at the Swedish Institute, and can you hand me a few more napkins? Where you at? So, I went to the lake to make some phone calls, and as I was telling one person, is that one of my gifts, and oh, thank you, bro. Gifts and blessings and challenges is that I've done a lot of stuff, and a lot of them. I had a great teacher who, Madam Fleur, and she basically said to me, once you master one thing, you're a master. You can master everything else. And I definitely took that to heart. I was definitely a master electrician. I became a master artist, master healer, a master negotiator, and a master scholar. So I mastered a lot of things, but I've always been an electrician. But, I went and got my master's license in New York, which is tough. I had a business, had employees, set it up, and we were making a business, we were making money. But I pretty much always made the same 50 grand. Well, I worked less and less, and my employees worked more and more. And at a certain point, all my employees were women. They all had families, payroll, the main. I paid them really well. So, 1988, 86, 88, when I went to Cornell. I turned the whole business over into profit sharing with the employees. And I got my 50 grand, whether I was there or not. All I really did was come in a couple of times a year to sign paperwork. I would have to sign my license and pay the $50 once a year, and I had to do that in person. Okay. But I stuck to that business. I had two friends who were like me, artists, craftsmen. One's a plumber, one's a carpenter. Carpenter guy moved to Florida, became contractor, and then real estate guy, became a millionaire. And my friend who's a plumber is like me. He likes being a plumber. So he made a nice living, pushed his kids through college, was always able to have a really nice place to live and have whatever he needed. But he's older than me. He's like 82. No, 70 or something. Almost the same age. And but he's still working. He said that he couldn't stop working. And now with the COVID thing, he had to let all those people go and do all the work himself. So I was telling the guy who was here, he was going, oh, it's terrible, blah, 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 blah. He's a musician. All the venues are closed. He was going on about how the world's worst off it's ever been. No. The world is always off. Right? And my good friend John left me a message. Said, could I talk about religion? Could I talk about Islam? Well, I'm not a Muslim, so can't come from that point of view. But as a scholar, I can basically say religion, as Marx said, is the opiate of the masses. But that's too simple a thing. And as I was talking to an adept friend of mine, and he's a young, well-educated young black man, and he wants to do the right thing, and he's like going on about, I don't know what the right thing is, and so that's, I'm trying to help him, and I keep saying, forget about politics or religion or this or that. It's all about culture. It's based on culture. And one of the three legs of culture is commerce, right? Now we have to get past, we were not on this earth to be mercenary merchants. Right? We're not riding on the cruise liner of selfish materialism, right? We're here to learn. We're in a sandbox. We're here to learn, to educate our soul, so our soul can ascend, right? That's not going to, it's not a, which religion is more popular. No. Most religions are culturally based, the Hebrew nation, which are not Jewish, Hebrew, Islam, and Christianity are the same freaking religion. Monotheistic, right? If you want to know about religion, go read Buddha, right? And he's all about, religions are okay, but, it's about your soul. Why you're here is your soul. You're here for your soul. So Sandra, Chris, what do you think? What do you think of religion? What do you think of why you're here? What's your experience? Are you depressed because of the, pandemic and the Black Lives Matter and all of the nationalists who are taking over the political horizon? Same as it ever was. Right? Go to my channel of Griot Publishing at xratted.blogspot.com. You Google Griot Publishing, you'll probably get there. And I will be posting in the next week my next version of Legacy, version 9. And I've written maybe 75 pages so far. It is encompassing all of this. You can go read right now Legacy Section 8. Right? And I like the stories of the old crone. She's in it, and her shamanic cohorts of Faith, the Crow, and Umo, the Black Panther, the size of a bread truck.
I did the same thing.
So handsome, I'm going to take a slice.
Sorry?
I'm going to take a slice.
Okay.
And what was the dark beer I just had? What was that?
Okay, the Amber.
Yeah, I'm going to have a different one. The other, what's the other two you got? Bud and
Rolling Rock.
Rolling Rock. I will Rolling Rock.
Rolling Rock, and you just want a cheese slice for here? For here?
Yep. I'm not, I'm only man enough to have one glass of this dark stuff. Unless you had whiskey. If I had whiskey, I could drink more of this. So did you ever do any traveling? Were you ever a traveling guy?
Not as much as I wish. I lived in Maine for a little over a year.
Ooh, what part? Okay. Did you ever go through?
45 minutes outside Portland.
Yeah. I used to live in Bridgeton, Maine.
Yeah, I go through there. I hung out in Wisconsin a lot.
Okay. Bridgeton is a little teeny town in the middle, where all the lakes are, right there. And I had a sweetie and that's what brought me there.
Yeah.
Women have always been one of the major motivators of my life.
Right. Yeah, that was especially being a southern guy.
To go to Maine.
The women were plentiful when I lived in Maine.
Yep. And the other side is that Maine are maniacs. Let's see. I would love to hear more about how to decode books in the Irish video. You were saying something about that. Yep. Well, I've had a number of, crone videos on my channel. So, again, I'm pushing towards 1,200 shows, right? And the last month or two, since April, I have not had the access to the internet that I was having, so I don't do them 3 or 4 times a day. So the crone, all of those videos will have. What you need to do, every one of these videos are a shamanic ceremony, right? And you need to throw, some way, dice or a dartboard, get 3 numbers. You throw the dice, you get 3 numbers. Throw a dart, get 3 numbers, and go to that show and watch it, because that's the show that you should watch. Now, the whole thing about all books, especially codex, and the Bible is a codex. The New and Old Testament. The Old Testament is the Torah, right? The Torah. They have other books in the Hebrew nation, but the Torah is like the owner's manual, and it is totally coded, because every letter of the Hebrew alphabet is a number, and that's why rabbis read it with a pointer. They are looking at every letter of the word. Gotta find the key, right? Yeah, the key, and the key is usually on the edge of the text, right? In all keys, right? And in not everything's written on paper or parchment. You go look at the tablets. You go to Egypt, and it's all written on the wall. And what was very interesting is, they couldn't decode any of that until they figured out the Rosetta Stone. And what it was a poem that was written in Egypt and written in Greek. And some smart monk said, "Ooh, you kind of look almost the same." And he kind of put them together, and that was the key. Again, it came from culture, art. It was a poem, right? So, that's what you got to go look at, right? Whatever catches your eye, right? Whatever stands out from what all the other stuff is, that's the key. And again, this goes back. So all these codi are religious texts, and all these religious texts are hidden. It's like the Da Vinci Code, right? Go read that book, because not only is it a novel about this guy trying to figure out a code, but the book itself is a code, right? And when you read my legend, the whole thing is a code. That's why it's taken me so long, because I'm putting in all this code, and at the end of when I finish this, there's going to be a thing called the general directory, and all through the text, when there's something important, I'm like just said, oh, it's got to stand out. Well, I'm putting an asterisk right there. Thank you, my friend. Ooh, and some oregano.
Oregano, yeah. Let me go throw some on there for you.
Yeah, throw that. Yeah. And do. These guys make good pizza. Could I have a knife and a fork?
Yeah.
Because it's hard to eat pizza without teeth.
There you go, sir.
So when you were in Maine, right?
Uh-huh.
So did you, when I said maniacs, did you connect with that concept?
Maniacs? No.
Well, these guys are up in the woods for, long winters, and it drives them nuts.
Yeah.
So they really get into stuff. Like all those.
Yeah, the people out there were, it's so funny that, just being from the South my entire life, people talking about, like, hillbillies or rednecks.
Right.
I always just thought that they were from here, but
Right. No.
man, they're wild out there.
Maniacs.
Yeah. Like I said, at Wiscasset, where I would hang out, I had a bunch of friends in Wiscasset when I lived there. Most of them since died, unfortunately, from overdoses.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah, man, they were blowing stuff up and
Yep.
living in shacks in the middle of the woods, basically.
Right.
Wearing
The same clothes for 6 months.
Yeah. I went over to one of my buddy's house, and he was up for like 3 days on some sort of bender wearing a tutu in a tree house. It was a blast, but.
So did you get into the cold?
Huh?
Did you embrace the cold?
I love the cold. The summer in Maine was the worst.
Oh, the bugs?
No, the humidity.
Oh, yeah, but the bugs. I've never seen bugs. That in Vermont.
Brunswick was right on the coast.
Okay.
So, summertime, it was just muggy. I could deal with the snow and the cold. I like that, but man, the summertime was absolutely terrible to me.
Yeah.
That's what everyone says. They're like, oh, I thought the winter was crazy. I'm like, I love the winter.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand the summertime.
Did you get into skiing?
Huh?
Did you get into skiing?
Skiing? No, I didn't go skiing. I'm pretty sure I only went to the beach like twice in the entire year. I'm not big on beaches.
Right. No, I was there, and the woman I was hanging was an Olympic skier.
Huh?
So you kind of had to.
Yeah.
You had to kind of. And I hated skiing because my feet always got cold.
Yeah.
So she'd warm them up. Think about consumption. I haven't had a beer about a year and a half, but ridiculously hot out. And these guys give you beer in a cold mug from the freezer, from the tap. So, one beer, not a problem. One beer in a year and a half, not a problem. When you're drinking 10, 20 beers in an afternoon. And a pizza, like I said. Well, you have to look for the thing that's on the peripheral. And the other interesting thing is, so here I am, like last night, I was, what's nice about living at 4,500 feet in the mountains, right there between Tennessee, West Virginia, North Carolina, Kentucky, and Virginia. So I'm in this vortex. So all the kind of weather is like zip around. So nothing. So there was two major. It's one front coming up the East Coast and from down in North Carolina. It's like right over there, and I'm in a holler, but I'm at the top holler, right? And the trees on my south side, I kind of took out a whole bunch because I was going to build a house there. So actually, I have a great view far away, right? So I can watch, and there's no light. There is no light. There's no highway, no truck stop. No town, no nothing, no light, unless I turn one on. And eventually, my eyes got used to the dark. You see everything. And, there were three competing weather fronts. One was really clear. One was this, you know, Atlantic storm coming up the coast, and one was behind me in Maine or Canada. And so it got down to 52. It was really sweet last night. And right where I was, these three fronts, like their boundary was like right over my head, and that's because of all these sawtooth mountains. We're right in the boundary layer. So it was interesting watching all these things, and right where I was open. So, to the south, you could see the thunderstorm happening. To the west, you could see that other front, and to the northeast, you could also see this other front. I was too far away. You could see the effect, but it wasn't really like the one in the south. No.
Thank you.
So, I'm of an age where I've always kind of, I've died 6 times, so I think about my mortality, what's going to be like when I die. I've had a little seeing kind of what it is. And so anyway, I'm thinking about this, and also the fact that I'm out there in this beautiful place. It's really, the birds, even at night, the birds sing. I was thinking about all these things. And I'm reading a lot of my books, writings of Saint Germain and Buddha. And Ernest Hemingway and John Steinbeck. And I was thinking about mortality and religion and politics, the general state of the human consciousness. And to write a novel, a writer has to read. I'm reading all this stuff, thinking about, then go back and type. So I'm thinking about it all. I have one of these clamshell deep lawn chairs, so it's like the most comfortable chair you can imagine. And I'm looking up there, and to the west, where the cloud, that whatever storm isn't going to be there, but the clouds are on the edge. And I don't know. And by the way, I was looking maybe 50 miles to the west of me. The cloud were kind of illuminated, but so is that thunder? Is that lightning? Yeah, but no thunder came. So I'm looking at this. I wonder what that is. I said to myself, so I'd like to know what that is. And I remember to myself, this gigantic ring of fire came from behind the clouds, 50 miles to the west of me. I just started kind of dancing around there. I looked like a gigantic Christmas wreath, white light shooting out, not lightning bolts, but it was very strange. And I was watching it. I wonder what it is. I started to move slowly, closer and closer. And I had one of those laser pointers with me, because I'm bringing it out with me to sign up this guy. So I pointed at it, started Morse coding it. And instead of And, instead of just bouncing around up there, it just zoom right over to me. And I have this other little pocket thing that I can turn all my Christmas lights on. Because I light up my space. Christmas, after Christmas, Christmas lights are real cheap. I do a great job of lighting up my path. I'm making it entertaining and cute. Well, I hit the button, boom, everything's like flashing all over the place. And it starts flashing all over up there. Now it's kind of not quite over me, but a lot closer than it was. And so, at a certain point, it kind of took a big long curve, came around, not really close to me, but closer than it was, and went right over really slow. And then it went zipping back to where it was. Amazing. And by that time, that cloud bunch started moving in, and things started to get dank and not foggy. It was going to get foggy. You could tell it was going to get foggy. I stayed there. And then it kind of swung around again, but went way high up. And because there was this opening between these three different cloud groups that were starting to come to me. And it navigated through that and just kept going. Well, that was interesting. And those are the kind of things that happen all the time to me in the deep green. And, that's what it is. Oh, handsome, what do I owe you?
I'll get you up here whenever you're ready.
Okay, when I walk out. I got you. So, religion, Islam. Islam is Christianity on steroids, right? Hebrews are basically they are who they are. Right? But they're all business plans, basically. Heaven is here on earth. Muhammad's a righteous dude. You know who was really righteous? His two grandchildren. Because when the person showed up, and basically just rolled right over that neighborhood, Muhammad's two grandchildren, his son, his grandson's grandchildren, basically were not cowered by the force of a softened-hearted person might. I said, listen, you are totally off base here. And it's in the Quran, the story of those two. We should go read it because it really promotes and shows faith, not any particular faith, but faith, period. These guys have been, or not. And they didn't, diss them, the person, because the persons were their Muslim cousins too. And they didn't even shame them. They overcame them with love. Go read that. If you want to look for some hidden metaphors, go read the Quran about Muhammad's grandchildren when the person showed up. And in the Bible, the best parts of it are when people show love, not judgment, not punishment. You have to realize that God isn't some misogynist, anthropomorphized big daddy in the clouds in a chair. God is love. And if we want to promote your own faith. Express it through love. Right? We have some really great opportunities for that. This pandemic and the defining of class and race and gender. Instead of trying to represent through some slogan, represent through love. Right? I live in a place that people call the Bible, the buckle of the Bible belt, or totally oaky land. Been around here forever, 20 years. And no matter who I meet, I'm always sweet, nice, kind, and loving. I have them talk about their life and what they're doing, and then I identify with it, empathize with it, and try to divine the most positive side of who and what they are. So, again, Islam, Judaism, the Hebrew nation, and Christianity, all the same thing. Business plan. Right? Focus through the spirit, because we all know. See, the thing is that I used to, being an anthropologist, was cultural anthropologist. And one might market meat. I didn't go hang out with some teenagers and eat sweet potatoes. I looked at cultures that were kind of dead. Egyptian, Mayan, and others. And ones that were still here but were being killed. The indigenous folk. Australia, North America, South America. And the thing that kept coming back was the artist in the first person, the savage that Huxley talked about in Brave New World. Our hero, these guys find in Africa, he's a white boy, he's totally white, African. His parents died. He was kind of brought up by gorillas and native folk. So he's totally that. His parents were white scholars and had a big library, and he read all those books. So when they brought him back to the big city, he was advertised as a savage, right? And all the girls were really hot for him. And because he could not connect with anyone there in that artificial life of Soma, that he committed suicide. And what's interesting, the white master folk, men mostly, like look at Charles, we will not be replaced by Jews. Come on. It's like apples and oranges. But the long of the short of it, white men don't have to, the black man ain't replacing the colored, brown and yellow man ain't replacing them. Jews aren't replacing them. What they're doing is killing themselves. In any industrial civilization, the United States, white males between 17 and 90 are dying more than anybody, and they're dying at their own hands through obesity, drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, lifestyle, right? And eating their gun. Right? There are more, gun deaths by white men eating their gun than anything other than crime or any of the above. So we're not Mexicans coming over the border being a threat. No, sorry. No. The only religion, which I don't believe in anything. I only have faith in love's co-creation. So I'm not, I belong to many churches, as an anthropologist. When I cruise into a town, first thing I do is join church. And usually I join them all. When I lived in this one little town in Virginia, I joined every single church. they all realized that I belonged to all of them, and I was going. And luckily for me, their time of services were just often enough where I could go to all of them. And each of them had dinner, especially on Sunday, after the church. And I would bring my suitcase Tupperware, and there was always some woman going, Widow Jones over there, she's really looking for a man. Not to get married, she's looking for a man, So I found in the small towns of Virginia that churches were the best place to get laid, get fed, and find out what was going on. So that's what I did. That was my job. And most of those churches, there were some really good ones that helped everybody, not just members of their church, but everyone, And there's a church over in North Carolina near me that one of those big churches, probably has 1,000 members. Big, rich church too. And the Corbin, the pandemic shushed them out of the church. So they all go, and they had a gigantic parking lot. So they all go in their cars and turn to a channel on the FM or go on the Wi-Fi and hear the preacher speak. And it's right where there's a cell tower, so I go to that parking lot and get, make my phone calls and go on the internet. They also, first Monday of every month, they would give food out to people in need, and pandemic, people lost their jobs, blah, blah, blah. Well, as soon as they did that, they had a sign. I pulled in, and they gave a box about this big. Had 2 rolls of toilet paper, a nice loaf of bread that they baked there, and a couple of canned this and that, and maybe some oil, and always something interesting, prunes or fruit or something. And so I signed up. I went in there, and every first Monday of the month, I would cruise in. It was just a little box. But 2 rolls of toilet paper was enough for me for the month. Well, this Monday, which was last week, I cruised in, and they said, "Oh, sorry, but you don't go to our church." And I said, "Wait a minute, I go to your church. I come and get the box every once a week, and when you're up at the top of the hill in your parking lot on the internet, and what more do you want?" And I said, "Sorry, no, we're not going to give you." And not only that, a couple days later, they had a sign saying, "We're not going to give anybody any food, period. Because if you don't have enough money, you shouldn't belong to our church." And that was like, really? Yes, I basically, I have all these hand sanitizers. I don't have any sanitizing, but I do have a little of this, alcohol, and water. And that's what like the Indians, I use my right hand, or I use my left hand for wiping and right for everything else. Yes, Invisible People, excellent channel, excellent channel. So right on, because I've been working amongst the poor and homeless folk since 1970. I had a friend of mine who I went to NYU with, and she started the first women's shelter in New York State, since they had back in the day. But in the 20th century, women weren't supposed to fall into that category, So they got no help whatsoever. She started it up and showed all the statistics of it. So no one would help her. So, I was taking over abandoned buildings. I took over this one building that I knew a real estate guy owned. But he almost forgot about it. And it was a commercial building. It was over near the Penn rail lines, right? And that was west side, and nobody was there. So we took over that building, and I fixed it up. I got buddies of mine who were trades folks, and we cleaned everything up, made everything code, and started bringing women in. And once it got popular and noticed, and she was writing grants, That's when the police showed up and said, "Hey, what are you doing in this building? It's not yours." And these guys knew me because I was taking other guys. And this is owned by somebody. I said, "I know who owns it. Yep. I just want to embarrass him. I want him to take us to court, and then we will publicize what we're doing here, and then he will he will probably give us the building and give us some money because this guy was, really rich. I don't want to say he was Donald Trump, but he was, a cousin maybe, or acted in the same way, because he was buying that same kind of real estate that Donnie was. Anyway, so basically, he wanted to take us to court, and that's when, my Ralph Nader lawyers ate him alive and embarrassed him, put him on page 6 of the Post, and it wasn't like him grabbing something. It was him being shown to be the slime ball he really was. So he to remove that, he said, "Okay, I'm going to let you stay there for as long, and I'll give you $10,000 a year." So he said, "Really? Okay, $100,000 a year." So, and really, so I'll get my friends to give you money too. So that was, and basically, Jesus only worked with, he wasn't hanging out with the rich folk. He was hanging out with the poor folk. So, ever see poor, Invisible People? Yeah, everyone watching should go watch Invisible People. Excellent show. So, Josh, what do you think of what when you watch that show? What strikes you? What do you relate to? What do you think of homeless people? What do you think of the poor? Are they the other that you ignore? I don't think it is. You're an empathetic person, I can tell.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What's a postcard from Santa?
This restaurant was good helping on me.
It didn't have its quota of slime, eh? So write me up there, son. He slices a beer. I haven't had a beer since I was last year. 520, please. Five. Oh, yeah. So is the kids coming back to ETSU?
They say they are going to August 3rd, a little bit earlier, but they cannot leave.
They got to stay there and
Stay all the way
and get everything done and get out.
November for Thanksgiving holiday. Then they won't be back anymore.
Right.
After they leave, they can take the exams
Right.
online after Thanksgiving.
Right. Did how about your public schools here? Are they going to open up?
They are going to open up, but they don't know exactly when.
Or how?
Are they going to do the same way, like when they leave, like Thanksgiving, they won't be back
Right.
again, something like that.
Did you guys have I live on the other side of Johnson County, and we had a really bad flu. Did you guys have a bad flu in the winter?
This year?
Yeah, yeah. Sweet, because they actually closed down the public schools for the flu before the pandemic hit, and then they never opened again. Anyway, so my thing about religion is that if you belong to a nice church and you like the people, that's good. If you do good things in that church, you help the poor, help the people who need help, that's good. But if you're wearing your church like it was a fancy suit, a fancy car, don't do it. So that's my report. Maybe tomorrow, if I feel like going to breakfast down the road from me. You might see me tomorrow, but who knows, right? I take it one day at a time. I enjoy every day I have, and I love you all. And remember, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, as was in the beginning, is now, ever shall be. Lord, without. Amen. Okay, gang. Let's see. There it is, 51:51.